Howdy folks, welcome back to the workshop. Welcome back to my channel. Gonna build something today. I think it's gonna be a fun video. I have here in this box a DIY Lyre kit that I got from Amazon. And it was pretty inexpensive. I bought it back in March and it's just been sitting here waiting for me to do something with it, but I had this kind of idea. So let's just open the box real quick. You can see, here's all the parts for the Lyre, but I threw one of my own parts in here. This is one of the black ice pickups from Miscellany, and I'm gonna see if I can make this into an electric Lyre. Now, if you've been a subscriber for a while, you might be saying, wait a minute, didn't you do that back in like 2020? And yes, I did. In fact, it's right here. This was a DIY Lyre kit that I built and I made it electric. You can see the jack and the volume knob right here. But what I did is I ended up putting a piezo pickup in here and there wasn't enough room, so I had to actually enlarge the cavity, put a piezo pickup right here and then ran it. So that does work, and this does occasionally make an appearance on my channel. However, what I want to do with today's project is use a magnetic pickup, and I'm not sure how I'm going to do the control cavity yet. That'll, come up as we go, but let's get started. Okay, so first things first, let's take a look what is in the kit here. So it looks like this is a stand. In fact, I can probably put that together right now. So there we go, just simple little wooden stand to display it, so set that to the side. We've got a hardware bag here. It looks like we've got strings. We've got some zither pins, a wrench, and looks like we've got the saddle as well. This is my black ice pickup from Miscellany. I also threw a jack in here. Now I'm not sure for the control cavity. Oops, there's the mounting springs and screws. Put our pickup to the side. Let's get this out of the plastic. Get that out of the way. Okay, so here is our Lyre. Now, what I'm thinking is this will probably fit just like that, and it looks like it is just about wide enough to cover the spread of the strings. It might be a hair too narrow, but it should be enough that it'll be in the vibration path. So there we go. So that's basically what I need to route out. Okay, so since I don't have an actual router, I'm gonna use this Forstner bit and my drill press and try to, make basically the end of the route here. Then I have a smaller Forstner bit here that I should be able to go back and try to trim that out. But that's the theory anyway. Let's give it a shot. Okay, it's rough, but that's the idea. Okay, so just a little more routing, and look, we are sitting just about perfect. I think that is going to work. Because I have this little scrap of oak here, and if I put that there, it's right about the perfect height. That's just stupid luck, but it's right about the perfect height. So what I'm thinking is if I mount that there, it could, provide a mount for the other side of the pickup. Now this doesn't have to be pretty because it's going to be covered by the pickup, but I don't want it to look terrible either, so I'm going to have to trim this up a little bit. So let me do that, and we'll get that baby glued in there. Okay, there we go. So if we put this here and we put the pickup across, slide that out. That's about perfect. And then that gives us room to, oh, that's gonna be perfect. Okay, folks, it's just all about using what you have on hand. So what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna drill a couple of 1-inch holes right through the whole thing. I know some people are gonna be like, but I'm gonna drill a couple of 1-inch holes right here and then kind of make just a control cavity. So it's just gonna be an open hole through there. Then I have this piece of scrap pickguard material, and I'm gonna trim this down and make it so it covers that. And I'll put a volume pot and the jack. So there we have a very crude control cavity. Like I said, it's gonna be ugly on the back, but we'll deal with it. There it is. Okay, so I'm gonna take a utility knife here and I'm gonna break off that blade so I get a nice sharp blade. And I'm gonna attempt to cut through this pickguard material. I already gave it a score. but I'm just gonna do this here so that I get a nice straight edge and try to trim this down to size.
A few moments later.
Holy cow, this pickguard plastic is tough. That took a lot longer than I thought it would, and you can see I got a little squirrely there on the cut, but it is cut. Let me take some sandpaper now and straighten up some of these edges and then round off the corners, and I think we've got a control plate. All right, let's see how that's gonna fit. Oh yeah, that should give us, yes, that'll give us room for pickguard screws at the corners. I think that is going to work perfectly. This is actually the shiny side, but you can see it got all torn up. Okay, there we go. Oh, hopefully this wood filler is still good. There we go. We're just gonna plop a little wood filler in there, and it ain't gonna be perfect, but it'll look better than having holes there. Okay, so before I wire this up, let's make sure we're not dealing with any fitment problems here. So, looks like we got plenty of room to wiggle with. That looks good. It's sitting nice and flat. I think we're gonna be okay. Okay. Looks good. They're all nicely spaced. That looks good. Last thing I want to do is countersink these little holes on here so that the pickguard screws will sit down in there and don't ride up on top. All right. Okay, I got my Minwax Ebony here. This is, I think, the darkest stain I've got. Let's get it laid down. Might take a couple coats to really get dark, we'll see. Now this is fairly cheap wood, so I'm not sure how well it's gonna take the stain, but it's definitely gonna look better than having it raw wood, that's for sure. Actually doesn't look half bad. It's taking that stain pretty nice. All right, let's keep going. Okay, folks, I'm actually out of TS jacks right now. So this is a TRS jack. So we're gonna turn a TRS jack into a TS jack really quick. If you've never done this. And instant TS jack. Put this here, and then this comes up here. This will go through here, maybe. There we go. Bam. There we go. I swear I never make it through a project without getting out the hot glue gun. But let's go ahead and hot glue this pickup wire in place so that it is safely out of the way. So this pickup is not marked which one is north and south, so I'm gonna guess. Realistically, it doesn't matter if you get north and south backwards, the pickup is still gonna work. And if you only have one pickup, there's nothing for it to be in phase against, so it's always gonna work. So I'm gonna put the red in the raw wire to ground and the white wire to hot. All right. All right, like the way that knob looks on there. Let's test it out. Here we go. I hear some buzz. That's probably a good sign. Let's see. Yes. And if we turn it down. Yes. So there is definitely some buzz. Hopefully that's not going to require an extra ground. If it does, I can fix that after the fact. Hopefully that's just the noise of the pickup under the fluorescent light here. But I think it's time to put the strings on. Okay, I've got the low string and the high string on, and you can see they're just right at the edge of the pickup. So as I suspected, it might have a little trouble with those, but they should still be in the magnetic path because the magnetic path extends beyond the pickup typically. When you do these zither pins, what you want to do is screw them almost all the way in. As you see here, these are almost screwed all the way in. Then you wrap them and you tighten them by turning the pin back outward, which seems unintuitive, but that's actually how they're designed to work. Okay, folks, it actually looks really good. I'm pretty impressed with the finish here. I got a rough tune on it. Okay, maybe not. See, now between fresh string stretching, the harp sort of settling in, or the lyre frame sort of settling in, and then the pain in the butt of the zither pins, it's gonna take a while to tune. So I'll let it sit for a bit, try to tune it up again, and then we'll do some sound samples. Okay, folks, this is honestly the most difficult instrument I have ever had to tune. I spent so much time trying to get this thing in tune, and it just kept going out, and I couldn't figure out what was going on. And then I took it and I held it like this and looked at it, and I noticed that the entire frame was bending inward like this. So I went back out to the garage and put this additional support. This is just a piece of 3/4 inch oak dowel that I put in there. And unfortunately I didn't have any black screws, so I had to use silver screws. So that's kind of a eyesore. But anyway, so I put that in there, and that helped a lot. All right, let's see if it sounds like an E major scale now. That last note's off. All right, let's go ahead and record a little something. I have the direct audio here. Let's hear what it sounds like. So here's the verdict, folks. Am I happy with this? Yes. Do I like the way it came out and, you know, all my little mods worked? Yes, absolutely. Would I recommend this to someone else? Probably not. Just because I would say it has a fundamental design flaw that the way that the body is shaped, it cannot support the strings. You have to add additional bracing, which is just kind of silly. Why not just build that in if that's how you're gonna make it? But all of that said, I'm not sad that I spent half a day on this. It actually looks pretty darn good. It doesn't sound half bad either. Okay, folks, if you like what I do on this channel, please hit that subscribe button for me. And if you like this video, hit that like button. That really does help out the channel. That said, thanks for tuning in. Have a great day.